Mr. Colbert, I'd like to ask you a couple of questions if I could. First of all, let me say that I think you made some good points, particularly about Democrats in November, and particularly about the need for members of Congress to read bills. I hope our Democratic congressional leadership was listening to you. It so happens that I'm going to take that as an endorsement of the Republicans' pledge to Americans, because we have a provision in there that requires the leadership to give 72 hours of notice of any bill that we have before we vote on it on the House floor. Let me give you a second opportunity to be a little bit more serious, because I know you do take this subject seriously. I'd like to ask you about your experience when you worked for one day in the field in upstate New York. How many other workers were there with you that day?
I didn't take a count. I'm not good with math. I would say 50. How many people were out in the field?
50, something
like
that?
About 100 people were out there in the field.
How many of those individuals were illegal and how many were legal?
I didn't ask them for their papers, though I had a strong urge to.
Okay. We assume that if you don't know they were illegal, there might well have been legal workers there. Is that correct?
I don't know. I have no idea.
Well, if you don't know, then it's hard to say that they were all illegal workers. My point being that if some of them were legal, and I presume they were, that does show that Americans are willing to do those jobs. Do you know how much those workers were paid?
I don't know. Even if they were legal, I don't know if they were American citizens.
You don't know what?
Even if they were legal, I don't know if they were American citizens.
Okay. Well, my question was, do you know how much they were paid by the hour?
I don't know. I don't know. I didn't do a good enough job to get paid, so I can't compare my salary to anyone.
Right.
I was actually asked to leave.
Gosh. Well, to me, how much they get paid is a pretty serious subject, and if they need to get paid more for us to attract American workers, we should, I think, do so. I know you're an expert comedian. I know you're an expert entertainer. I know you have a great sense of humor. But would you call yourself an expert witness when it comes to farm labor issues or not?
I believe I was invited here today by the Congresswoman because I was one of the 16 people who took the United Farm Workers up on the experience of having migrant farm work for a single day. And if there are other members of the committee who did that, then there's no purpose of me being here. But if there isn't, I might
does one day in the field make you an expert witness?
I'm sorry, I can't hear you.
Does one day working in the field make you an expert witness, do you think?
I believe one day of me studying anything makes me an expert in something.
Is that to say it's more work than you've ever done before, right?
Excuse me?
It's more work than you've ever done before in that
It's certainly harder work than this.
Is it harder work than the comedy show?
Excuse me?
Is it harder work than the comedy show?
It's absolutely harder than punditry.
Okay, and you don't want to return to it. Okay.
I will never. I don't even want to watch Green Acres anymore.
Well, like I say, I'm happy you're here. I do think you made some good points, but
by the way, I do endorse your policies. I do endorse Republican. You asked me if I endorse Republican policies.
Okay. Do you endorse
I endorse all Republican policies without question.
Okay, including the requirement that members have 72 hours to read a bill before we vote on it?
Absolutely.
Thank you for your endorsement of the Pledge to America. Madam Chair, I'll yield back. Thank you.